from the Pleasant Hills Public Library, and I am so excited that you can be with me here today for another installment of STEAM Stories. So, before we get into today's topic, let's see if we can remember what all the letters in STEAM stand for. You think you can do it? I bet you can, because you're pretty smart. S stands for science. T stands for technology. E stands for engineering. A stands for arts. And M stands for mathematics. And we'll be using all 5 of those subject areas to learn a little bit more about mazes. So what is a maze? How long have mazes been around? Let's take a few moments to look at some pictures and short video clips while we learn a little bit more about the history of mazes, how they operate, and the different ways you can find them.
Mazes and labyrinths have been around for thousands of years. You might think that they're the same thing, but they aren't. A maze is a collection of branched paths, some of which have dead ends and typically start at an entrance and have an end goal. A labyrinth is a pathway that winds and can be disorienting, but doesn't branch off, and it leads directly to the end point. Ancient labyrinths were designed to be calming and lead visitors on a spiritual journey. The word labyrinth dates back to the 14th century and comes from the Latin and Greek words for a building with intricate passages, whereas the word maze dates back to the 13th century and comes from the Middle English word for delirium or delusion. The first recorded labyrinth comes from 5th century BC in Egypt and was described as a winding building made up of thousands of rooms, many of which were underground. Perhaps the most famous ancient labyrinth is the Cretan Labyrinth, said to house the fearsome Minotaur. Here in Pittsburgh, you can walk the Homestead Labyrinth, seen here, any time and experience a meditative journey. Hedge mazes became vastly popular in England during the 18th century as a source of entertainment and privacy for members of the royal court. Nowadays, you can find mazes made of all kinds of materials: hedges, corn, books, snow, bricks, stones, and so much more. Corn mazes, as seen here, are often huge, but they're also temporary, only lasting for one growing season. Mazes can also be drawn or printed on paper and solved with a pencil or your finger. Mazes have even made it into our toys, with ball-in mazes such as the one seen here that also inspire today's experiment.
Wow, mazes are really fascinating, huh? Do you enjoy doing mazes? Well, if you do, you're really going to enjoy today's STEAM experiment. We are going to make paper plate marble mazes. It's pretty exciting. And they work like this. The materials you'll need to complete today's experiment are packaged in a handy-dandy take-home kit available in our lobby while supplies last. If you can't get our kit for whatever reason, you'll need all of the following supplies: a marble, 4 strips of paper, 2 pipe cleaners, 2 straws, and a paper plate with a rim on it. In addition to the supplies in our kit, you're also going to need some scissors, a pencil or a pen, glue, and some tape. Now let's head over to the craft table to learn how to make our paper plate mazes. Before you begin gluing or taping anything down, take a few moments to think about how you would like your maze to look. Do you want it to be flat? Do you want it to have bridges, tunnels, pathways, underpasses, overpasses? It's up to you. Once you have an idea in your head of how you would like it to look, it's time to use our materials, and you can also use other things you might have at home, to build our maze. I recommend starting with tape, because that way, if it doesn't work or you don't like how it's turned out, you can remove it. If you use glue, it's a little harder to change. Once you've settled on your design, by all means, get that glue out and secure it so that you can use it over and over and over again. You'll need your scissors to cut the items we've provided into smaller pieces. We gave you lots of paper so that you can build some bridges or maybe even make walls. It's entirely up to you. I think I'm going to make a wall out of one of my pieces of paper. So I'm going to start by cutting it in half, and then I'm going to fold it in half like this. It makes kind of a triangle L shape, a pyramid, if you will. Now to make a wall, you know what? This wall's too big. I'm going to cut it in half. Now I have two walls. So to make your wall, you take your tape, and once it's settled, you can do glue. Come on, tape. There we go. And you put it on the one of the flat edges. Oops, my tape got a hair. And then you can tape it up. And then your marble hits a wall. So after my marble rolled off my plate, I decided to make a corner wall here to kind of keep it in place. I taped both flat pieces down, and I taped the corner to keep it extra secure. Now I think I'd like to make maybe a bridge or an underpass. I think I'll use my pipe cleaner for an underpass. I'm going to fold my pipe cleaner in half, and I'm going to cut it. Now this requires some strength and some sharp scissors. And then I'm going to fold it kind of like a hill or maybe an upside down U or V, like that. And then I'm going to use tape to tape the little feet parts down. Ooh, try saying that 10 times fast. And now I've created a little path for my marble to go through. So if I start in the corner, I got to get it through there. Oh no, I didn't get it in. Yay! It worked. I think I'd like to make some paths or roads for my marble to use. I'm going to do that with the straw. Now you could do this with the pipe cleaner or the paper, just like you could make the underpass with the pipe cleaner or the straw or the paper. You can use the materials however you want. There's no wrong way, which is one of the best parts about this experiment. But I'm going to use the straw because I want a corner. So I'm going to open up my straw and bend it. And then I'm going to cut it so that I have a couple different pieces to work with. And then I'm going to build a pathway by taping my straws down like this. Now you want to make sure that there's enough room for your marble to go through. If it's too narrow, your marble won't fit. And you want to keep your tape as flat to the plate as you can. That way it doesn't bump your marble in a bad way. All right, so let's see. Well, I wanted to be able to go through the underpass, so maybe what I need to do is cut this piece a little bit smaller. Yeah, like that. I had to get new tape. I ran out of other tape. All right. Woo! Did you see that? Gotta be careful. Science can be messy. All right. So now I have created a pathway or a road, a corner, and an underpass. Nice little bridge. Let's take a little bit of a closer and sped up look as I finish constructing my maze. Now before we do that, remember, I'm going to make it my way, but you're going to make your maze your way. And there's no wrong way to do this. As long as your marble can move around, you're good. Once you finish constructing your maze, it's time to decide where the beginning is, or the start, and where the end is. And that's where your pen or pencil comes in handy. You're going to write the word start on your plate or on a piece of paper that's attached to your plate where you want your marble to begin. I want mine to start right over here. Okay. Now I want it to end here. So I'm going to write
end over here. Now what I'm discovering is that my pencil doesn't show up very well, so pen might work better, but I can see it. Probably won't show up on camera though. That's all right. I'm starting here and I'm ending there. And now it's time to test it. Every good scientist knows you have to test a couple times before you get the correct answer. So you're going to put your marble there, wherever your start is, and very carefully and very gently maneuver your plate up and down so that your marble rolls. And see if you can get it to go through all of the obstacles you created and end where you want it to end. Ta-da! Let's take a closer look so you can see how my maze is constructed. As you test your maze, you may experience some of the following difficulties. Your marble might roll off your plate, or it might get stuck. Now, if it gets stuck, check to make sure that your tape or your glue or whatever you have there is super flat. And if it's not, squish it down until it is. Or add more tape to make a nice level area. Because if your marble encounters a bump big enough, it won't move anymore. And if your marble is constantly rolling off your plate, add some more walls. We gave you a paper plate with a rim to hopefully stop that from happening, but if you tilt your plate too much, your marble will still roll. All good scientists know that you need to try and try and try again until you get it just right. So don't get discouraged. If it doesn't work the first time, take a breath, step back, and then try again. We would love to see pictures or videos of your completed maze. Send us a pic or a short video to pleasanthills@einetwork.net. And we'll be back on December 22nd with our last STEAM Stories installment of the year, where we learn how to make LED flashlights. Super exciting. Now, if you've enjoyed this kit or this video or any of our take-home kits or any of our virtual programs or our in-person programs, please consider donating to the library. Your donation helps us continue to offer these types of programs and these super awesome take-home kits. You can learn more by visiting our website at pleasanthillslibrary.org. Well, my friends, until I see you again, stay safe and have a great day. Bye!